When the world's at stake, and the only ones you can rely on are buff dudes in pajamas, you need to take comfort in that we are always here at patreon.com/recesscastproductions. For less than the cost of a biological weapon designed to copy all the fight data of every martial artist it encounters, you can support our show and help us keep the lights on. Bonus episodes, early access, exclusive content, they're all just for you. Again, that's patreon.com/recesscastproductions. Now, enjoy the show where you can.
Sure you can!
Ryu, Karate Joe, whatever his name is, everyone's talking about him. But you know what they're not talking about? The After Credits Cast, the only film podcast tired of you not giving a fuck about us. We are going to make you fight us, and you will not forget it. I'm your host, AJ Waseskin, and I'm joined, of course, by Ryuin Metters.
Whatever you do, do not tap into the dark Hado.
The intro for this week's episode is a Street Fighter theme. I have not picked one. Certainly the editor will give you details somewhere around here, but it'll be Street Fighter related, to be sure.
Future Aaron is always on his job, and I appreciate him.
Absolutely. Hopefully, Future Aaron will also find time to do these things. He has been very busy lately. You can follow us on platforms of choice. Patreon, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that stuff. Google us, you'll find us. And if you're on a platform you're comfortable with, hey, leave us reviews. Give us 5 stars. Tell your friends about us, because that's the only way we're going to get more audiences, and we could certainly use more listens. That always helps us out quite a bit. Ryan, are you excited for this week's movie?
Sure.
I'm glad you are, because I'm not.
Damn it. I've been set up.
Welcome back to another episode of Mediocre Video Game Movies, or as I like to call them in the business, video game movies. This week, Street Fighter Alpha released stateside in 2001, and directed by Shigeyasu Yamauchi and Masahiro Hosoda. I can go for Hosoda. And written by Takashi Nishiyama, Hiroshi Matsumoto, and Noritaka Funamizu. I think I got all those right. There is no box office info for this one, but we do have an English voice cast, and that certainly includes Keith Burgess, Mona Marshall, Richard Cancino, Carolyn Hennessy, Joe Romosera, Joe Prada, Matthew Mercer.
Matthew Mercer? What?
I wrote his name down wrong, but it is Matthew Mercer. Leah Sargent, Skip Stelrecht, and Stephen Bloom.
Who the... What?
Or is it Blum? It's Stephen Blum, isn't it? It's Stephen Blum.
I'm pretty sure it's Blum.
Yeah.
But hold on. I need to know who Matt Mercer and Steve Blum played.
So, in the voice cast credits, Matthew Mercer is credited as additional voices.
Okay, that's fair.
And Blum, I believe, is Ken.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I thought Steve... I recognize Steve Blum as having a deeper voice. Man, he's got some range. All right.
I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure it's him.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, Steve Blum. Can confirm.
That is dope. That's dope.
Let's see if they list Matthew Mercer anywhere on this list, because I don't think he plays any of the major characters. It's just additional voices, which, yeah, it's fair. Little bummer that we don't have a name, but fair.
I mean, it's like 99. I mean, Matt Mercer isn't like a household name yet, and he's still he's done a lot of work in the voiceover industry. So I'm like, there are a lot of projects with his name in the cast. So I'm not surprised. I am surprised, but I mean, I'm not surprised at the same time.
Yeah, no. I wonder if he knows who he played. Well, no, because I've heard stories of like people like Mark Hamill. He went to voice one of the main protagonists in one of the Yakuza games, which, big deal. He's a very fun character everyone loves. if you ask him about the character, he's like, "Oh, I don't fucking remember that game at all."
Man, voice actors are busy, man.
Well, no, but like I'm just wondering, like, because there are some roles that just stick with you. Like Kevin Conroy's never gonna forget Batman, for example.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
That's
so
fair.
it's one of those things where it was just kind of funny. Like, hey, do you remember the one thing you played? They're like, no, I don't know what that is.
Like, no, nah.
um,
That was a bit. That was bit voices. That was a fucking bit voice. In fact, I'm pretty sure that The Last of Us Part 2 has the entire cast of Critical Role in as background voices. Like Ashley Bailey plays a prominent figure in that movie. And so does Ashley Johnson. The rest of the cast are just in it, and they're just spread out.
so I want to point out, you call Last of Us 2 a movie, but that's also accurate, so it's fine.
People who have played / watched that game know, they know. It's absolutely. I surely didn't play it. I watched that shit on YouTube.
See, accurate. It's a movie. Anyway, Ryan, I believe you have some fun facts for us about this actual movie.
I do. This actual animated movie. First off, in the hospital, Sakura Kasugano is playing the Wonder Swan version of Super Gem Fighter Mini Mix 1997, also known as Pocket Fighter in Japan, Asia, South America, and Australia. The game is originally released for the CP System 2, like the Street Fighter Alpha/Zero series. Sakura's one player is Chun-Li from Street Fighter 2, The World Warrior, 1991, for the CP System 1, and the CPU is Ibuki from Street Fighter 3, New Generation, back in 1997, which for the CP System 3. So all of the hardcore Capcom heads absolutely knew what was going on there. Nice. Next up, for those who didn't know, Rose was inspired by JoJo's Bizarre Adventure character, Lisa Lisa. Rose's outfit is almost identical to Lisa Lisa's, and both share a similar fighting style that consists of channeling energy into their scarves. Additionally, both act as a sort of mentor to the main character. This was referenced in Rose's Midnight Bliss form in Capcom Fighting Evolution, as well as her 12th default costume color in Street Fighter V. And Aaron really did some deep digging for these fun facts, so I very much appreciate him.
Well, so the reason is, A, I did not know who the fuck Rose was, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So I wanted to get some information on that, and 2, IMDb only had like 2 facts that they were not interesting.
Yeah. Fair.
So I had to go hunt.
That was good. I see the effort. I really appreciate it. Last but not least, the Dark Hado, or the Satsui no Hado, is a dark energy-based force primarily used by Akuma, an evil Ryu, which we see glimpses of in the film. Comes forth more as Ryu succumbs to the power of the Satsui no Hado. However, Ryu eventually purges his evil half, forming a new entity known as Kage, who appears in Street Fighter V and is badass, albeit a bit of a glass cannon. And Ryu then embraces a new power, the power of nothingness.
I saw a death battle where they kind of dive into that a little bit, and that was an interesting concept.
Yeah. I mean, that like it's a well explored theory in terms of fighting styles and just like the philosophy of combat, the ability to kind of embrace nothingness and react like instinctually to everything that comes to you. So yeah, like it's definitely been done before, and I can appreciate it.
Wait a minute. So explain the power of nothingness, so you're saying it's like the ability to just react to things without like just instinctually.
So the most notable form that I've seen it referenced in is the manga and anime History's Strongest Disciple Kenichi. In which case the main character, there are 2 forms, like 2 ultimate forms of energy, which is the more violent, kind of mindless destruction that would kind of be characterized as the Dark Kado, and the power of stillness, which takes its form in the Ryusui Seikuken, if I'm remembering that right. But in which case, it kind of expresses itself as this perfect form of stillness that could kind of automatically counter anything that was thrown at it. But ultimately, it led you to this kind of extreme form of empathy where not only could you automatically counter what was being thrown at you, but ultimately you could learn to understand your opponent and begin to turn their own moves against them.
So what you're telling me basically is Ultra Instinct from Dragon Ball Z is not original. It's something that's been done a million times.
Absolutely. there are thousands of years of historical like basis that they pull that from. So yeah, Ultra Instinct is not a new thing.
To be fair,
they called it a new thing, and they put a fresh coat of paint on Goku, and they called it new. It's not new.
To be fair, I was pretty sure it wasn't like 100% original, but goddamn, they really do a good job trying to say that it's an original thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Also, I just want to say that Uchiha did it better. So. Initial thoughts, here we go. I really wanted to like this one, but in all honesty, I thought it was just kind of boring. Tune in to the pre-roll that we've recorded where I talk about this in slightly more detail, but we'll talk about it in even more detail here in a little bit.
Yeah, this one was a little rough. I enjoyed the animation, and I liked the more philosophical bent that they took to it, because they try to get into the philosophy of fighting and like what is the purpose of becoming strong. And I enjoy when works of art kind of delve into those questions. I don't think this does it the best.
Nope.
So it definitely leaves stuff to be desired, but I still had an alright time with it. I was able to watch it and work at the same time, so take that for what you will.
I think conceptually I'm interested in what it's trying to do. I think execution-wise, it just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But let's talk about a synopsis brought to you by Coca-Cola. Not really, I'm sorry. I just want to throw it out there. Anyway.
Hashtag sponsored, hashtag not really.
Hashtag please sponsor us, we're desperate. Anyway, we have a lot that happens here, so try to keep up. Ryu's master is dead, and he's got Dark Mojo in him that's trying to take over like it did to Akuma. Who's Akuma? You should have played the games to find out. To distract himself from his existential crisis, he helps out Interpol agents deal with remnant Shadow Law criminals. This gets the attention of Super Thigh Master Chun-Li, more so when she reads that he's the one who took down Sagat. Again, you should play the games to know what that means. Ryu is questioned by a strange woman in his dreams regarding the Dark Mojo and his reason for fighting. Totally not the same dreams he has every other night. Obviously, because the plot demands it. Why even ask him? Anyway, but then a new reason is dropped into his lap, a little brother named Shun, as in Shun the Unclean One. Ryu immediately takes him under his wing, but Ken is skeptical as fuck because he also read the script. The three end up going to an underground fighting tournament, which Ryu declines to actually enter, and Ken just couldn't enter because, sorry, you're just not allowed.
He got there too late.
Yeah. But somehow Shun got there on time and signed up and is nearly killed by the thickest thighs of them all, Zangief.
Zangief, my man.
Luckily, Ryu steps in and takes a beating until his Dark Mojo gets out of hand and blows up the whole building. Shadow Law comes and kidnaps Shun. Bad Ryu becomes Sad Ryu and needs answers. He and Chun-Li go to Akuma for those answers, and he just gets insulted instead. So Ryu, Ken, and Chun-Li go to the next fighting tournament thing, where the DLC characters you wanted are there, hiding all along. Except Blanca. No one wants to actually play him anyway. The game goes through all of that before dealing with a cyborg controlled by a nerd who has never actually been in a street fight. They fight the board and are beaten easily, save for Ryu, who freezes up because he sees his little brother inside the cyborg, feeding it the dark mojo. Fighting happens and Ryu eventually saves the day with the power of Persona, kind of literally. Everyone goes back to their daily lives, save for Ryu, who wants to fight Akuma, because we gotta face the final boss someday. For those who didn't catch the reference, I say Persona because in the game Persona, you flip over your tarot cards, like the Death card, and do stuff with that. And so that's what Ryu's got. He's got the Death Persona with him.
Yep.
Yep, that's the thing. He won't be the main character though because you need the fuck what's it called again? The Fool Persona for to be the main character. Totally not Ryu. That seems like a Dan Hibiki kind of thing.
I felt like he was gonna flip over the Devil Tarot card to actually summon Akuma to fight the main boss, so that he didn't have to dip into the Dark Hado.
Oh wait, did I get it confused? I thought it was the Death Persona. Was it the Devil Persona?
I thought it was the Devil. I wasn't paying that much attention.
It was one of the D Persona. That's what it is. The Dick Persona. So that's what he.
The Dick Persona.
That's what he got.
Yes.
That's what he got. Guys.
Akuma is pretty dickish. Not gonna lie.
Yep. Not a pretty dick, but pretty dickish.
You don't know? You haven't seen what's under his gi?
Come on. I've seen the hentai. I know what it's all about.
No. How dare you?
For the record, I have never actually seen Street Fighter hentai because I'm not super into Street Fighter, but I'm sure someone has. If you want to tell me without showing me, I'll believe you. Thank you.
Why would you do this? Why would you open yourself to this? Why would you do this to yourself?
Listen, I don't have Bo here. I don't have Nicole here. I don't have Chaz here. Someone's got to be the fucking weirdo who's going to say these dumb things.
I mean, with all the crotch shots of Chun-Li in this
Can we talk about that?
Almost.
Can we talk about that for a minute? So, there were multiple times I paused this movie, not intentionally. Like I had to go deal with the dog, or I had to go do dinner or something or whatever. So there are times I paused in the movie. How many fucking times did the camera stop on someone's fucking crotch?
Yeah, that someone 9 times out of 10 is Chun-Li. It's straight up. It's Chun-Li.
There was Chun-Li. There was the kid. I think it was Ryu one time.
Yeah, like they did it a couple times to Sakura, and I'm just like, this is not appropriate, guys. Stop. She is like 15. Can you please? Can you not?
It was just
that is actual a schoolgirl.
Like,
can we not?
Like, it was so weird, and I was just sitting there like, okay, I don't know if you're doing this on purpose or if you just have really bad animators, but like this just looks bad. Like, not even in a weird.
They were surely doing that on purpose.
Well, like it's not even bad in like a weird perverted sense, like it is, but like if just in a cinematic sense, like I'm not looking at anything. It's just like I know it's a crotch you're trying to show me, but like it doesn't really look like anything. It's just a bunch of stuff on the screen. Like, show me a face, show me a person, show me something.
It wasn't. I will say, to be fair, it isn't as bad as the Street Fighter 2 animation.
Oh God.
Movie, because that was just blatant in its objectification of Chun-Li.
Did it have bouncing titties, Ryan?
No, but it did have a cyborg that made up bullshit fighting stats and decided to pause at certain camera angles when scanning Chun-Li. And that's all we'll say for this episode.
Your Grundle has a high difficulty rating.
We have discussion questions, hopefully that don't revolve around Chun-Li's crotch.
Do we, Ryan? Do we have discussion questions? I don't know.
You wrote them. I'm just assuming that you wrote discussion questions, not around Chun-Li's crotch.
Okay, well, first question. How does Chun-Li's crotch... I'm kidding.
God damn it.
In case you are listening to this and aren't catching on yet, there's not a whole lot to talk about, so we're definitely going to deviate quite a bit. Just a heads up. Ryan, compared to the live-action film, how do the visuals look? Do the characters look better? And does this improve the experience of this adaptation?
Overall, I'd say yes, because you don't have to worry about actors who aren't actually martial artists, so you don't have to jump cut 80,000 times in order to make a fight look good. That's the wonder of animation, folks. You can actually just animate a fucking fight, like, straight up. So I think compared to the live action, this is definitely a step up in terms of seeing the actual combat prowess of the characters in question.
Yeah. Even just ignoring the costuming, like, I think, yes, the costuming looks more accurate, but I think you can excuse that in a good enough adaptation. But yeah, just the action alone. Partly because, yes, you can make everyone fight and they actually will fight the way they're supposed to. But also, you can do more outlandish stuff in terms of, like, their powers. And
yes,
you could also have characters get hurt and not have to worry about stunt doubles or making these injuries look real. Because, guess what, guys? It's animated. You can make it look as gruesome as you want. Thank you, Invincible.
Ryu did a move like three quarters of the way through the movie that broke a nameless like henchman's neck 8 times, and I was like, "Oh shit, that man is dead." God.
All you gotta do is spin
Please.
kicks in the air, flipping dudes around. Like, they can't do that in a live action movie unless you, like, fucking CGI that shit. So I appreciate this at least.
Like towards the beginning of the movie where they're talking about nope, damn it, that's Street Fighter 2 the animation, damn. I was just thinking about where they actually used Cammy to her real potential, but that makes me sad again.
So Ryan, tell me about Cammy's real potential in Street Fighter 2 the animation.
I mean, she's a very terrifyingly skilled person. But the first time you see her, she makes her way through a crowd, jumps on top of a guy, spins his head all the way over, and folds his body backwards in one move. And it's just like, oh shit! Oh no! And so, I mean, it's just like it's like these characters can do like better things when they're animated based like as opposed to live action when you have to worry about hiring big names or people for your big name stars to have affairs with while they do cocaine. Who knows? Anyway, in any event, yeah, I think the animation, like the animation lends itself to its characters actually being able to do more stuff from the video games because you don't have to worry about video game characters actually dying. So here you go.
Absolutely. Ryan, I gotta ask before we get too far in the questions. Should we have watched Street Fighter 2 the animation, or is Street Fighter Alpha still okay?
I like Street Fighter Alpha better than the two of them. I feel like not to go too far into it, just in case we decide to revisit it. But I feel like Street Fighter 2 the animation suffers some of the same woes that you had with the live action movie, in which case the cast is so big that the story feels like it's sprawling in order to accommodate the wide range of characters. Like damn near pretty much everybody from the roster makes an appearance in Street Fighter 2 the animation, and the storyline kind of spreads itself out just so we can get a bunch of these people to essentially make cameos. So definitely Alpha has a more streamlined storyline with a smaller cast.
And I do want to point that out because I did say this one's boring, but I do appreciate the fact that this one narrows the scope a little bit because it focuses on the two leads, Ken and Ryu. Chun-Li gets her contractually obligated lead woman role appearance. Am I wrong though?
I mean, you're not. Also, they needed something to do the hentai. I mean, they needed something to draw the male viewers into the anime. God damn it!
No, everything with that was perfect. Keep it in. Anyway, no, I agree. Yeah, pretty much. I think biggest failing here might just be that the villain is super, like, uninvested. Or I'm not...
Oh, God,
I'm not invested in the villain at all. You tease me with Akuma at the very beginning. You mentioned him multiple times, but then he's, like, not really a part of the plot. I'm sitting here like, man, I would just kill to see Akuma do something in this for, like, 5 minutes.
The fact that Akuma was not the villain is, pardon my language, the biggest cock tease I've ever fucking seen. Are you kidding me? You want to talk about there being... You want to talk about the dangers of Ryu stepping into the dark side, and meanwhile you have a fully fledged Dark Ryu over there that is highly speculated to have killed Ryu's master? Come on, guys, he's not the villain? Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Who is this cyborg-looking motherfucker? Can we do away with him?
Also, the cyborg guy doesn't even look that cool. He looks just really weird, and, like, he reminds me of the androids from Dragon Ball Z, like the big one with the red hair. But, like...
Okay, but Android 16 was cool, though, because he liked birds.
No, he was definitely...
He was a gentleman.
No, he was definitely cooler, by all accounts. But I'm just saying, like, this guy feels like a... kind of like a ripoff of that, almost.
Yeah, you kind of run a risk when you have, like, a non-human character as, like, your big bad in an anime, because while being able to take a hit, like makes you seem ridiculously strong, the give and take of a fight, like, you don't want to just have your main character run up and, like, deck somebody, and then they're like, and then they just no-sell it. Like, it's just like that, like, is that all you can do? Like, it's just like, it gets you uninvested in the fight super fucking fast. So it's like you kind of run the risk by making the enemy seem unbeatable, as opposed to just having it be, like, a very difficult a challenge for them to be, because if it just feels like they're never gonna win, it's just like, what the fuck are we watching here? Then why is this still on my screen?
I think you can make that work if you keep the first encounter incredibly short to prove how overpowering the quote-unquote cyborg or overpowered character is, only for then your character to return later in the film or show or what have you, having gained what they need to then match or overpower said character.
Yeah, but you also have to have that moment where the villain who was overpowered is then surprised by the gain in strength.
Oh, because but you can't do that with the robot. It
validates that. You can't do that with a robot. It validates everything that the protagonist has gone through in order to rise to this level. That when they're like, "Nani? Where the hell did this come from?" That's fulfilling. That's like, yes, I've gone through this journey with the character. We're both hella powered now. It's time to take the fight to them. Now they know I'm a real threat. Haha. And with this character, you kind of don't get that. It's all shit talking and not like no selling your attacks until you kill him in one shot. And it's just like,
It would have been it would have been really cool if they did like they did with Cell and like had the kid like get powerful enough to fight him, but they didn't, and now it's just like, oh. Anyway, but yeah,
we can compare anime that did this better all day.
We really could. What was I gonna say? Something about Ryu and so let's back up a second here. Let's talk about Shun. Ryan,
do we have to?
Did Shun feel like a Scrappy-Doo character to you, or is that just me?
He did. It's not just you. It's not just you. In fact, I was really, really surprised when they actually had him, like, be a competent fighter. I'm like, this kid is 12. What?
Yeah, like, this kid should be playing fucking card games. What's this all about?
The fact that they had Shun, who was a nameless preteen that was hanging out with Ryu and Ken for a brief period of time, actually a competent fighter, and Sakura, who is actually a named character
Yep.
in the Street Fighter games, like fail at the first fight that she tries, was like, what are we doing here? That immediately said setup to me, because why the hell is Shun able to knock out some thugs in an alley, like, without even trying?
Ryan,
Like, what's happening?
it's because girls can't fight. That's what this movie is saying.
Boo! Look at Chun-Li, not Chun-Li's crotch. Just look at Chun-Li. She's amazing.
I can't. The camera's only looking at her crotch.
God damn it.
So I honestly thought Shun was going to be revealed to be Akuma, or like transform into Akuma, or be like a vessel for Akuma, or something.
I was calling Akuma's son, and then they went actually and visited Akuma and was like, no. Where I walk alone. Where I fight alone. Just like fucking pointlessly edgy. I'm like, come on, dog. Come on, bruh.
But like every idea that I had for what Shun was gonna be was way more interesting than, oh, he's just gonna be a fucking dude trapped in a goo monster that's gonna fight you guys as a cyborg.
Yeah, just like,
Like, I had an idea that made a lot more sense in my head, and then y'all went and, like, did a 180, 360, what have you on me, and I'm just like, you know, I didn't see that bridge, and I didn't expect you to cross it. I also didn't expect you to burn it down behind you and leave me behind. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
You've taken it to a place where I can't and just won't follow. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it was nonsense. I'm not opposed to a mad scientist character learning about the other fighters to make some kind of powerful super weapon. I don't think it's a bad idea. Metal Sonic did it. It was cool. It was better with Metal Sonic, to be honest. But,
truth be told, I'm still a bit confused. Like, was Shun just like an orphan that the doctor convinced to trick Ryu? I mean, what? Like, was he himself a baby cyborg that they sent to kind of lure Ryu into the trap? Like, what is this?
They never really did explain where or what he came from. He was just kind of there. He was part of the trap, but they never explained how he got involved. But yeah, it was really weird. Again, him being related to Akuma in some capacity would have probably cleared up a lot of those issues.
And his like it was confirmed that his father had the Dark Hado, and I'm just like, what? It was just a bunch of teases for the audience as well as Ryu to like look into it, and then none of them really got answered like at all.
Oh, you mean like Marvel's popular WandaVision? Yeah, I get that.
Man, you're never gonna let that dick joke go. You're just never gonna let it go.
No, I can't. I won't. No. Ryan, why does the Shadow Lu feel like less the focus here when they're supposedly the big antagonist group of the series?
Because it's the token bad guy group when they have to make a fighting game, when they have to make the stakes in a fighting game feel like they threaten the world, they always input like the shadow organization that has legions of fighters and armed fucking military personnel to threaten like the idea of nations, when in fact you just want to lend credence to like your one or two villain fighters. I feel like they actually kind of address this like really well in the live action Street Fighter, because you have Guile, who's a very, very skilled hand-to-hand combatant, and then when he has to go against a platoon of people with guns, he's kind of shit out of luck, guys. He's kind of shit out of luck. So, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's there just to kind of lend some believability to the bad guys, when in fact it's just a placeholder. But ultimately, I feel like the big antagonist of the story isn't even really a specific person, but rather like the concept of those dark, like the darker feelings and the darker ideals behind combat and the nature of strength and what does it mean to be strong when uh, uh, your primary road to strength is fighting against other people. Like, what does that mean? I feel like that's more of the antagonistic standpoint.
Man, that's not gonna
Yeah,
sell. That's not gonna sell to kids. They don't want to have introspection and thought in their
I
anime.
know.
They want to see titties and violence, Ryan. And there's not enough of either of those here.
Well, they focused on Chun Li's ass, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh boy, this is a fun one so far. Um, Ryan, do you like the concept of the Dark Hado and Evil Ryu? Why or why not?
I mean, yes, I think it's done better in any number of series. But yes, I mean the concept of there being a a dark side to conflict is interesting when people pursue it as a means of becoming strong, but they have to also hold back the part of them that feels good when they're fighting, because ultimately you are causing harm to somebody else, and when you start relishing in the harm of other people, then that's it's really bad. That's categorically not great. So what does it mean to want to seek strength when that strength ultimately comes at the expense of other people that you fight? Like, that's a very interesting concept, and being able to kind of differentiate inner strength from the joy of seeing other people weak. Like, that's interesting. It's done much better anywhere else, but the concept itself is interesting.
Ryan, if you were to give me some recommendations as to other anime, games, or other works of fiction that do this better, what would be your top picks?
Ooh, shit. Okay, you're putting me on the spot here. Okay, because I brought this up earlier, and because I really like it, and I need to do a reread of the whole series. History's Strongest Disciple, Kenichi, actually delves into this like very interestingly. The main protagonist, of course, is this school kid that has a crush on this girl, and the girl happens to be the daughter of like the world's most terrifying martial artist, and he decides to enroll in the school of martial arts in order to become strong enough to impress her, and he ends up studying under various different masters that also teach under the school, and so he learns different styles and different like ways of combat, and he becomes the strongest disciple because he knows so many different styles of combat and they all gel inside of him. But I think it does it very interestingly because it does kind of look at the differences between those two forms of energy, and like the form where you kind of relish in the fight, and the dangers of losing yourself into that because there is strength there, but without restraint, you become a wild beast, and like there isn't, you kind of lose all your humanity. But there's also the opposite of that, where it focuses on stillness, it focuses on empathy, it focuses on reactions so that you can react to the world around you, but also learn about the people that you fight as you're fighting them. So I think it does a very good job of kind of delving into the yin and yang of combat and the philosophies of both aspects. That's what I would recommend you check out if you're interested in that.
You heard it here, folks. History's Strongest Disciple. Anime or manga? Or do you think it matters?
Um, I don't think the anime is that good. I would recommend the manga.
Fair enough. I am also a manga snob as well. So, If you could watch or read something, I would prefer to read it if I could.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, Ryan, you're familiar with the series, so you probably didn't have to, but did you know who Rose was before the film?
No.
Okay, so did you look up who?
Still really don't know who Rose is.
I was gonna say, did you look up at all who she was or what she was? And
no, can you fill me in?
not really.
I was just like, who the hell is that?
I had to look her up, and even I'm kind of like, okay, so she's just another fighter. Apparently, she can like see the future and shit, but I didn't understand how she had this like weird psychic connection to Ryu in the movie because it didn't really explain it. Like, the lore and powers of her character are a little different from what they are in this film. In this film, it makes it seem like she's some sort of ethereal, spirity person, and that apparently isn't the case in the games. So, yeah, it's a little weird.
I don't know what to tell you on that, man.
It's a choice.
Like, what?
It's a choice.
It is a choice. It is indeed a choice.
I certainly don't understand her place in the lore or the series. And also, yeah, if you are more a fan of Street Fighter and understand who and what Rose is, and not like a different Rose like Ruby Rose or Amy Rose, we're talking Street Fighter Rose here. Let us know, and we will definitely read it. We won't necessarily respond to it, but we'll definitely read it. Ryan, how does this thing compare to other anime we've seen? How's it compared to other video game movies we've seen? Well,
not great.
I was gonna say, so compared to other anime, if you count Last Airbender, it's definitely not Last Airbender.
It truly is not that.
If we're gonna go deeper into that well, it's not a Ghibli movie by any means.
Also, it's not that.
There's also.
I will say, I think, in terms of adaptation, it is one of the closest adaptations to the source material that we've seen.
To be fair, though, I'm pretty sure like Capcom had a pretty strong handle on this one versus whatever became of the live action movie.
Yeah. And of course, ultimately, it's easier to do a video game adaptation in animation because you don't have to worry about actors being able to physically do the shit, or humans being able to physically do the shit. Like you can do that when you're animating it, and that's perfectly fine. There's also I feel like more focus was placed on being accurate to the story of Street Fighter or at least somewhat close to the story of Street Fighter than the live action. So it definitely has a one up on that. But like I mentioned in the live action, sometimes video games, the storyline is kind of the fourth most important thing. And so while I feel like they made it a bit more of a priority for Street Fighter Alpha, it's still not amazing. There are better video games with better storylines out there, and even sticking as close to the source material as this one does, I still feel like it leaves a lot to be desired, just strictly from a storytelling standpoint.
I mean, fair. Counterpoint, this is still better than the Final Fantasy movie.
Yes, absolutely. That's another plus. It is not the Final Fantasy movie.
God, what a fucking garbage movie that was.
Children. What the fuck were we watching?
I was gonna say something about this, but then I made the joke about Final Fantasy, and now I forgot.
Good job. Congratulations. You played yourself.
I did. I feel like a fool. But, yeah, those are all the real questions I've got for this one. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot to go on. Not even the funny, like, in-depth, oh, do you think this means that this guy's got, like, a political agenda? No, I don't have any of that, no. I honestly feel like Akuma would have voted Trump. He's a libertarian. So he would have done that. That's all I got.
God in heaven.
wouldn't have voted. Ken would have probably gone Biden, but he would have regretted it. That's all I got for this episode. If you want to email us directly with your thoughts on what political parties the Street Fighter characters belong to, you can certainly leave that in the comments below. Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook. Again, we'll read it. We can't guarantee we'll respond to it in any capacity. Ryan, if they want to email us that strange list of demands, where could they email it at?
They can. I'm trying desperately not to make any Chun-Li crotch shot joke in here, but yeah, no. You can just email us at evacstation@gmail.com.
Slight tangent.
I couldn't think of it.
Slight tangent, real quick. Ryan, speaking of Chun-Li's crotch, did you see the latest Rick and Morty episode?
I haven't. Oh my god, I've got to watch those. I have to watch those.
The newest one, the plot gets delivered pretty quick. Giant sperm monsters.
Oh my god.
Literally giant sperm monsters. You will have fun with that one. It's a fun one.
Oh my god. Oh, Dan Harmon, what are you doing?
It was a great time. This whole new season's been pretty fun so far.
I can't wait to check it out.
Mr. Nimbus, like, fucking great. Anyway, that's a better animated show, if you want to check that out instead of this. This is the part where we rank the the movie, from platinum to trash and all the colors in between. Ryan, where do you rank Street Fighter Alpha?
How do I do this? Because there's a part of me that wants to be nice. And I'm really trying to justify it. But I'm having a hard time doing so.
Well, okay. So I'm actively comparing this to other films we've ranked. So it's not to the garbage level of Final Fantasy. So we've already surpassed that.
Like it didn't actively piss me off watching it. So like it's got a plus on some of the movies we've seen already.
It's in the same like level of like intrigue and like being boring as like X-Men Apocalypse, but X-Men Apocalypse had way more potential to go with, so I feel like that also is lower to me.
Yeah, wasted potential is a big yeah, it pisses me off a lot too. So yeah, I
don't think it's dirt either. So it's at least Stone. Does it beat Stone though?
I'd be comfortable giving it Stone, honestly.
Yeah. Again, guys,
I think Stone is a fair rating.
Again, guys, when it comes to video game adaptations, it's very hard to like get past the bronze level. Like bronze is like the best most films can strive for. Very rarely will they ever get a silver, or even more rarely a gold. So
I feel like there's a reason hidden in there why we changed up the this last season.
Yes, so I should probably explain that to the people who don't listen to the pre-roll.
Because it's hard to get above a bronze when we're talking about video game adaptations, guys. I'm sorry.
So there's a bit more to it. So not only that, movies that hover in the bronze stone area generally aren't interesting. I'm not saying they're always bad, but they're not always interesting, or they don't always give us a lot to talk about. And a lot of video game adaptations kind of fall in the spectrum. They're either not interesting to talk about, or they're just so bad that we just are like, this is a joke. This is a bunch of nonsense. So, we're shaking the formula up a little bit. So we were going to do straight video game adaptations again. We changed it. So now, we are merging this season in with the Matrix season that we are planning that may get changed still because of fucking delays in release schedule. Anyway, so we're merging it all into one season, which is just some kind of weird video game virtual world mashup, so to speak. Which I think is fun. So with that, you will be getting some other films that we did not originally plan, including, bring the schedule again here, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which we have Chaz already volunteering to do. We have
immediate, like the moment the moment we announced it, he was just like, absolutely me.
Yep. We have War Games, an older film from the 80s, I believe. Right, Ryan?
Yes. And a classic, Matthew Broderick.
Yep. The Last Starfighter, also from the 80s. And
That's purely for nostalgia, y'all. I'm not even gonna cap. That's entirely nostalgia for me.
And of course, the upcoming new release that we'll be recording in August, but will still come out later this year because time. Free Guy, starring Ryan Reynolds, which we're all actually kind of excited to check out.
Who doesn't fucking love Ryan Reynolds? My namesake. Not really, but my hypothetical namesake.
And you will still be getting Matrix 1, 3, and maybe 4 if it releases on time. And we will not be doing Matrix 2. We already did it. Please check out that video /podcast and see our thoughts there. But yeah, that's the upcoming schedule for the end of 2021. If anything changes because Matrix got delayed, it will do something different for the last 4 episodes. No promises, but we'll figure it out. Ryan, is there anything else that I have neglected to mention that would be worth mentioning?
Nope. Time is weird. Cagliostro. We will keep you abreast of all changes that we make to the schedule.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for your patience, and we will see you after the credits.
Bye.